Cool. Okay, we're going to go on to slide 27, and we're going to hear from Jared about an awesome opportunity for elementary educators to get some Scratch PD. I believe Jared is called in, so I'm going to mute myself and see if Jared wants
Dan,
to
can you hear me?
Ooh, yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm called in because I'm unfortunately at the vet for emergency vet. So sorry I can't be here on the phone, or rather on video, and actually share some visuals of some of the things I'm going to talk about. So each one of those links that's on the slide that you're currently looking at kind of gets you to a variety of resources that you can use right now. But to kind of start, I want to just talk about what the PD session is for what it was formerly AZ CSPD week, but now just kind of summer PD stuff. So the session that we're going to do is an intro to Scratch with a particular focus on integration. So this is recommended for teachers who might be like interested in integrating CS, but like don't have a background in this, maybe haven't done this before, or maybe you are used to CS and you just haven't done Scratch in particular. So our focus in the curriculum and in the PD itself is on interest-driven learning, so giving kids choice and opportunities to kind of create things that are interesting to them through project-based learning projects. So what we're actually going to do in the session that we're going to have over the summer is we're going to model how to teach several Scratch projects. After we go through several of the projects in Scratch, we're then going to kind of unpack using a framework called TPAC. So we're going to say, okay, what was the technological stuff you need to know? What did you need to know about the platform Scratch? What was the pedagogy that we were modeling? How are we talking about guided questions, or how did we model debugging processes? And then the last one is the content knowledge. So what was the CS related stuff that you were learning while doing this? Now, after and throughout that discussion, we're also going to talk about just like a variety of other topics relevant to the things that we modeled. Towards the end of the PD session, we're then going to focus primarily on, okay, now that we've gone through these projects, what could we do to integrate these into the subject areas that you're teaching? So maybe you're a music teacher, or maybe you're a math teacher, or maybe you're just a general classroom teacher that teaches a variety of subjects. We'll be able to bring all of those perspectives to the table and kind of talk about ways to modify projects to fit them into your class. So the idea is to kind of take a teach a person to fish approach. So that way when you walk away from it, you go, okay, maybe we worked on several projects today, but on our website, there's nearly 100 projects that you can go through in Scratch Junior and Scratch. So you'll at least have some understandings of how to go through those on your own when you leave the session. Okay, so the second link that's on there is just a link, the one that says further your learning with free resources. It links to stuff like the CSK podcast. It links to a spreadsheet with over 100 unplugged lessons, all sorts of other stuff that you might find useful for your classroom and you can use right now. So the next one is specifically for, because of COVID-19, the remote learning resources. So at the top of that particular link, there's a video where I kind of walk through, okay, how can you use our lessons and resources right now at home, whether you're a parent or a teacher? So if you're interested in learning more about that, check that one out. And then the third sub-bullet point on there is a link directly to the application. So we've partnered with Amazon Feature Engineer, and what they've basically done is provided funding so we can do our normal 50 plus hours of PD that we usually do over a 3-year process, but we're going to provide it for 1,000 schools for free. So if you're interested in filling out a short application to apply for that, go for it. And if you aren't and you know of a district, cool, maybe send that link over to them. Okay, so the next chunk of bullet points is just access to the free curriculum. Always going to be 100% free, so I'm not going to change that anytime soon or ever. The K2 stuff is Scratch Junior, and then the 3+ lessons are for Scratch. Now, in the 3+ lessons, there's a link to the lesson plan, so that's for the adults, whether it's the parents or the teacher. And then the coder resources are kind of resources designed for kids. So like visual and video guides that walk through how to create a project and all the extensions, as well as some other stuff like debugging challenges for each one of the projects. And then the final thing that I just kind of want to briefly mention is that I'm going to be presenting a few sessions at the virtual CSTA National Conference. So if you're interested in seeing some of the sessions on like integrating music in your classroom and using microbit in with Scratch and things like that, check those out. So hopefully that was quick enough for you, Dan.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Jared. I just want to ask a question that I think I also know the answer to. So, you know, usually BootUp is something that requires like a district partnership, like the Amazon partnership and things like that. But this summer session on Scratch is open to everyone. Anyone can attend it. Anyone can get into it. Is that true?
Yeah, great point.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
normally we only do full district-wide implementation. We don't want to work with schools that only want to work with gifted and talented. We don't want to work with schools that are only doing after-school stuff. We only want to work with schools that wants to make it equitable for everybody. So we typically turn away teachers who are just individual teachers and say, hey, check out co.org. Hey, check out this other platform that you can use that does PD. But with this, we're going to kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what we do in our PD.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jared. We've got also some registration for that on our CSTA website. We'll have some links to that kind of at the end of this. I think we're still a little flexible on the date, but it would be sometime in July is what we had talked about. Is that right, Jared?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much. No questions have popped up in our chat or on the slides. If they do, I'll let you know, Jared. Otherwise, his email address is somewhere.
Jared at BootUpPD.org.
I'm going to add that to the slide. There we go. Jared
Thank you, Dan.
at BootUpPD.org. Great. Awesome. Cool.